Billy Wilson was an outlaw, a sheriff, and a customs inspector in the Old West. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. David Anderson, alias Billy Wilson, was born in 1862 in Ohio. He moved with his family to southern Texas in the early 1870s. Working as a cowboy during his late teens, he moved to White Oaks, New Mexico in 1880, where he became the owner of a local livery stable. Business was hard to come by, and the livery never saw very much success. Sadly, he had to close his business a year later. He apparently received counterfeit money from the sale and was eventually indicted for passing the money in Lincoln County. After his indictment, Billy decided to go on the run. He joined Billy the Kid and his gang rustling cattle in the local areas. From February to May 1880, Anderson stole horses from the Mescalero Apache Reservation, as well as cattle from ranchers on the Colorado River, to whom they sold for $10 a head to White Oaks businessman Thomas Cooper. During the summer, they also stole cattle from rancher John Newcomb. On a cold November 29th, Anderson and Billy the Kid were traveling in open country near White Oaks when they were suddenly pursued by a local 8-man posse. Both their horses were killed during the chase. However, they were both able to escape on foot. Later meeting up with Dave Rudabaugh, the three rode into White Oaks the following day and attempted to gun down Deputy Sheriff James Redmond, but were forced to flee after a crowd of 30 local residents took to the streets. He and the others were tracked to a ranch house 40 miles away by a 12-man posse, but they managed to escape. During the shootout, Deputy Sheriff Jimmy Carlisle was killed, and their pursuers burned the hideout in frustration following their escape. Following the ambush at Stinking Springs, he was arrested with the rest of Billy the Kid's gang after surrendering to Pat Garrett. He was convicted in December 1880. However, it wasn't long before Billy had escaped custody in Santa Fe. Billy had achieved a great deal in his life up to this point. Despite being exposed to the perils of gambling, gunfighting, and entrepreneurship, he was weary of the challenges he had faced and determined to begin anew. Unlike other members of the Regulators, he was able to make a successful break and restart his life. In an attempt to evade law enforcement and posses, Billy fled to Texas. It was here that he began living under his birth name, David Anderson. After arriving in Texas, he started a ranch in Uvalde County. He eventually married and had 2 children. Thanks in part to the efforts of Pat Garrett and others, Anderson received a presidential pardon from Grover Cleveland in 1896 and worked as a U.S. Customs inspector for a time. While serving as sheriff of Terrell County in Texas, Anderson was eventually ambushed and killed by cowboy Ed Valentine when he responded to a call at a local saloon in the town of Sanderson. He was warned that the suspect was armed, and the sheriff knew the man and did not consider him a threat. When he entered the saloon, the cowboy shot him, killing him instantly. Later, the suspect was shot and killed by a deputy when he stepped outside of the building. Sheriff Anderson was well liked by the public, and was buried in Brackettville, Texas, after a very emotional funeral at which many Sanderson citizens were in attendance. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check the playlists for more cool videos. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you.